Honourable Speaker, the bill looks like a very simple matter, but it is not that simple. Honourable Speaker, liberty is circumscribed by factors of defending public security, public health, public morality, all elements that would enable us to exercise our rights without infringing on the rights of others or undermining the very environment which should guarantee our survival. Honorable Speaker, we are lawmakers, and our duty is to make the law on the basis of the interests of human beings, national interests, and our conscience. Honorable Speaker, it is important to state the fact and then examine what is practicable. It is a principle that a law that cannot be enforced is no law. But we must not negate the fact that something is harmful to health when it is harmful to health. Where we cannot enforce a law, we can educate. So our role is not only lawmaking, but also advocacy to propagate what is in the interest of our people. There is no doubt that the culture has created a mentality, a mindset of beauty, which through socialization has been injected in men and women in Africa. But not only us, I don't want to see this from the angle of white-black, because you see even white people going and putting cream on their skins in order to get darker, which they consider, or to go under the sun. So it is not an issue of race. It's an issue of socialization. What is in the minds of people, mindset? Honorable Speaker, we inject from birth in that child. As you look at that baby, you say, this baby is beautiful by virtue of this appearance. And from birth, that person is consigned to an inferiority or superiority complex by virtue of description, by virtue of appearance. Honorable Speaker, the person grows up with that, and men grow up with that, and select their wives on that basis. And consequently, people try to appear in a given way, because society conceives that to be the model, to be attractive. And then we come back and look at that very thing again and say that it is destructive, it is harmful, let's turn it into a law to suppress it, to prohibit it. But the same people who make the law will also still be attracted by the very thing that they are trying to prohibit. What do we call that? I dare not say that in this forum. Somebody says double standard, we need to use harsher words that I dare not use. That is the contradiction, Honorable Speaker. There is absolutely no doubt that the chemicals we use that will cause the bleaching of the skin would be harmful to a baby that you suckle. There is no doubt about that. So therefore, mother and child are consigned to what is harmful by our own mindset. So we cannot battle the ill without battling mindset. So the real task is the task of removing the mindset. acculturation, and bring about a new mindset so that that child who is born will accept that she is beautiful, not by virtue of the color of skin, not by virtue of ornaments that the person puts on, but by virtue of her natural appearance, that the natural appearance itself is the beauty of the human being. That is the mindset we must put in people. Then we will not have the problem. That is the solution. But essentially we create the problem, we don't look at the solution, and then we start to make the law to punish. In my mind, Honorable Speaker, that is oppression. And when this law was made, I remember, I'm associated a bit with the media, I remember immigration officers being arrested on the basis of this law and detained. Who knows what happened to them? When you make these laws, you detain people. Can you imagine what could happen to that individual? And you don't take that person to a court. How many days their husbands were moving, their families were moving about? Such laws will lead to that. You can arrest somebody because you want that person and then exploit the person just because that person fears that if the law is implemented, the person will be before the courts. So in that regard, Honorable Speaker, there are laws that you cannot enforce. And that is what the lawmaker tried to distinguish. What laws can we enforce to be able to prevent something? Prohibit what is implementable, what is enforceable. Promote what is in the interest of society. Protect what is in the interest of society. That is what lawmaking is all about. Those are the pillars of lawmaking. So, Honorable Speaker, this law cannot be enforced, and it can lead to abuse. It has led to abuse, and that is why it should be repealed.